Hey guys, this is 00greenbean00 and I'm back with another battle. This is against TheDekuNut from Smogon. A very, very good opponent, if I do say so myself, which I do. Sorry the video quality is a little iffy this time, and here we go. So he leads with his Caterpie named Gyarados, and I lead with my Fortress named Brains. And he gets Intimidate, but whatever. And he taunts as I go for the Reflect, because I know he's a Dragon Dancing set, but the taunt obviously made Reflect not work. So I switch out to Moo Milk, because I know he's going to D-Dance, and he does. And I know that even with the D-Dance, Waterfall will probably only do like 1/3 of my total health. So I just go for the Body Slam to try and get Para-Hack, so even if he starts Dragon Dancing, the only thing going up is his attack, not his speed. And thank the Lordy Jebediah that I get my frickin' Para-Hacks right away. That was like ridiculously lucky. But hey, my plan worked, so I'm not complaining. So now I just set up some rocks as he goes for probably another Dragon Dance, and I need to put an end to this Gyarados because I know he's going to try and sweep my team right off the bat. So I switch back out to Fortress to try and like get another Reflect up because I figured he's probably going to attack now, and he does. He uses Waterfall. But it doesn't do too much on Fortress because he's a big steel wall of defense. Well, technically he's like a sphere, but that's not the point. So he goes for the taunt again, so I thought he would Dragon Dance or something, but I can't use Reflect now. And now I come up with a master plan. I switch out to Arcanine to intimidate him and lower his attack back one stage down. But I miscalculated at this point, and I thought he had 2 Dragon Dances instead of 3. But I figured he was going to Dragon Dance knowing I would switch again. So I go for the Thunder Fang here, and I'm thankfully faster, and I OHKO his Gyarados, which was sweet. That was a good play for me. I'm just glad it died. Yeah, Arcanine is a beast. If I could pronounce his name in Japanese, whatever that says, I would do it. So now he brings in the Death Star. Yeah, the Death Star. So I switch out to Lantern to absorb the Surf very easily. Absorb the Surf very nicely. And he switches out and goes to his Steelix as I go for the Thunderbolt, which just, yeah, good call. Obviously, I was going to use some kind of Thunder move, but, or Electric move, rather. Thunder is not a type. So I just switch out to my Fortress to take the Earthquake, but he instead set up Stealth Rocks. And I don't like Stealth Rocks, but I figured it was probably an Earthquake or something, and actually I was kind of hoping it would switch back to Starmie, so I went for the Payback, but he didn't, and he EQs, and his Earthquake does a hefty chunk of not a lot of damage. A hefty chunk of not a lot of damage, obviously. So I just set up some spikes, because I don't know what he's going to do, and the frickin' thing roars, and my god do I hate these things with a passion. So he brings back out Miss Mages, and I figure he probably doesn't have anything else he can do, so I switch back to Fortress as he goes for, like, the Toxic, but it doesn't affect Fortress, obviously. And now I just Rapid Spin because I know he's going to Roar, and these Stealth Rocks are going to be a big pain. So he does Roar, as I predicted, and that drags back in the Ghosty. And Miss Magus can't actually do anything to Steelix, because none of my moves are like super effective or anything on it. So I just keep switching back and forth, and he sets up some Stealth Rocks, and at this point I just use Spikes because I'm just getting sick and tired of this. And that was good for me because he switches out as I go for the for another layer of Spikes. Oh my god, no, I Rapid Spin, I'm sorry. I Rapid Spin to blow away Stealth Rock because I figured he was probably going to Roar again, and I was just waiting for him to make the next move. And I switch out to my Heatran to absorb the Flamethrower that I hoped he was going to use, and I was correct, he did use a Flamethrower. And I go for Earth Power, but he switches into Swellow, predicting my Earth Power, which was good for him. And obviously Swellow can't be hit by it, and now he activates his Flame Orb, meaning he's going to Facade. So I switch out to Arcanine, and I miscalculated this a little because even with Intimidate, Facade is going to do a crap ton of damage to Arcanine. But lo and behold, my Arcanine survives. And this is good because I'm going to go for the Extreme Speed, but not good that he switches out to his Heatran to absorb Extreme Speed. Very well. Yeah, pretty well. So I switch out to Miss Magus, anticipating Earth Power, and I couldn't have been more right. So I sub at this point because, yeah, his Heatran's gonna be a pain. But he brings this thing out, and I know in the end it's just gonna frickin' roar me out of there. So I just go for the Nasty Plot in case maybe he sets up Stealth Rocks again, and then next turn I can do like a decent chunk of damage. But he roars right away, unfortunately for me. And he brings out Heatran, and now I had to guess, do I want a Flamethrower? And he might switch in, but instead I went for Earth Power. because Earth Power would be more effective on everything that he has, and Earth Power doesn't kill him, which I guess he knew. So he sets up rocks, and I hate rocks, but I know that he's probably gonna switch out, but I go for the Earth Power again anyway to just see if I can hurt him. And it doesn't affect his Swellow, obviously. But with Burn, I've noticed that if I switch in Fortress, I can survive his Facade or Aerial Ace or whatever he does, and in 2 turns he'll die. So I just I take this opportunity to set up another layer of spikes, and he goes for the Facade, and it's not gonna kill me. I'm gonna barely survive, but yeah, I get up my 2nd layer of spikes, and he dies from Burn, which is good for me. And at this point, he switches in Heatran again, but thanks to my 2nd layer of spikes that I set up, his Heatran's gonna get knocked out by entry hazards, which, oh, that's always such a good feeling. But you probably feel like an idiot when you're on the other end of it. But nonetheless, he brings in his Death Star, and I just go for the 3rd layer of spikes, even though I know I'm probably not gonna get it up, and I just let Fortress die so I can get a free switch in next turn. And he surfs away my brains. And I bring in Arcanine, and he lives with like 8 health. And I just go for the extreme speed here, because I know that thing's faster, but he predicts this, again, obviously. And this is the part that pissed me off so much, because the Steelix took so much entry hazard damage that extreme speed was almost enough to kill it, but not enough. And doing the calculations, I figured, okay, maybe 1 more extreme speed will knock him out. But no, Bloody Thing lives with like 1 health, and he just roars me out of there and brings in Moo Milk. And I'm like, okay, maybe a Body Slam, even if it has leftovers, will be able to knock it out. So I go for the Body Slam, and wouldn't you know that this Mutter Truckin' Steel Onyx thing survived. And I was like, okay, Toxic, whatever, that's fine. I have Heal Bell. So I just figured, you know what, I'm just gonna switch out here. No, I'm gonna Body Slam again. And that, again, didn't kill it. And then he roars me out, and I'm like, oh, sweet ball sacks. And so here he's like, okay, yeah, I can't do anything, I guess. So I just go for the Surf, and he lets his Steelix die, which is nice because it's about frickin' time. Duh. Can't believe it. Whatever. You know what? It makes sense. It wasn't very effective, but still, I was hoping I could have killed it. And now, Machamp. Oh god, Machamp. So I figured he's going to use some kind of punchy move, so I switch into Mismagius to absorb the punchy. And Dynamic Punch obviously doesn't affect ghost types. And so I just want to see what else it has, so I set up a sub. And he goes for the Stone Edge, and thankful God I set up the sub when I did, because he gets a crit Stone Edge here. And that would have done a hefty chunk of damage, but I had my sub up, so that's good. And now I figure he's probably going to Stone Edge again, because Dynamic Punch can't affect me. So I switch out to Heatran to absorb the Stone Edge, but it actually turned out to be an Ice Punch, which I found bizarre, so I figured he was like a sub plus 3 moves type set. But since this thing is so annoying, I'm just like, okay, gotta end this. Let's explode in his face right now. And goodbye, Machamp. You got exploded on and you died, and it was awesome for me. And now I know that Starmie's the only thing left. Go into Mismagius, and I was gonna Shadow Ball, but he knew he was beated because of all these entry hazards and stuff. His Starmie had like no health, so he ran. So very good game, TheDekuNut. That was quite the nice match. Entry hazards are clearly a pain. Rate, comment, sub. Thank you. Enjoy whatever you're doing today.